Hello, friends. Welcome. Say hello, happy home. I'm happy to be here with you today on this Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. Tomorrow's April Fool's Day, so be sure to kiss a fool for good luck for the rest of the year. Don't ask me why. I know nothing about it. I do know a lot of fools, though. That's not what I want to talk to you about. What I want to talk to you about is GLP-1. Those shots, injections, pills, and all that crap that you see. What they do, they are not a magic bullet. They're not some magical mystical elixir that floats down on gossamer wings and gets carted into the pharmacies. All it does, it's a drug, it's a synthetic drug, but what it does, it is not GLP-1 either. GLP-1 is a naturally occurring hormone in the human gut. When you eat food and the digestion begins, that digestion triggers your stomach to release this naturally occurring hormone in the human body called GLP-1. It's got a big name, but GLP-1 works, right? So some people, their body's GLP-1 response is not enough to break down, distribute, and digest food and all of the benefits and nutrients and bad things in the food throughout your body. Some people's bodies don't produce enough GLP-1 to manage that digestive process correctly. People who are obese or have type 2 diabetes in particular, their pancreas and their digestive system are all out of whack because of insulin production and how it's all kittywampus for them. So their GLP-1 may be down very low. So these injections and these pills now, I guess there's pills. What happens is when you inject yourself with the GLP-1 drug, it triggers your digestive system to push large amounts of GLP-1 hormone into your gut to break down the food. And it's essential because that helps to break down the foods super efficiently. So you don't have a lot of carbs, sugar, non-food like chemicals and toxins and stuff they don't get broken down correctly. They don't get digested correctly. And if they don't move through your system efficiently, then all those excess carbs and sugar and stuff just sit in there. And because your body has to put it somewhere at some point, usually ends up in your liver, pancreas, spleen, kidneys, the filtering organs. And it will also turn to fat. Now, I do not take GLP-1s. I do not take anything at all. But what I do is I incorporate black beans into my diet because black beans have short chain fatty acids, SCFAs. And short chain fatty acids, guess what they do? When they get into your gut, they trigger a forced hormonal response to produce GLP-1. Same thing as the shots do. Black beans. Really, I'm serious. Look it up. Short chain fatty acids will trigger that GLP-1 response. And short chain fatty acids push food. It breaks food down faster and pushes it through your system faster. And when that happens, less gets broken down and absorbed into your body. That includes less carbs, less sugar, less toxic goo in, processed foods and so on. And I also include a white kidney bean supplement. It's dry, dehydrated white kidney beans in a little capsule. You can get it super cheap and it's very effective. And what that does is that acts like a magnet. It goes into your system, it poofs out, and it acts like a sponge or a magnet, and it grabs a portion of the carbs that you are ingesting and holds onto them and forces them into your lower intestine, preventing them from staying in your gut, breaking down, and getting absorbed into your body and turning to fat. Now, I'm going to include another naturally occurring compound called butyrate, Buyrate. It's something that's been out forever. I think it's a naturally occurring hormone also in the human body, and it also triggers the GLP1 rush response. So there are so many products out on the market now that do what the GLP1 shots do. They mimic the trigger that tells your brain and body, oh, time to loose the hounds. Get that GLP1 hormones. Get them on board. It's time for them to come and do their job. If you have a really good probiotic, you eat a clean, healthy diet, and you incorporate things like, lentils, the beans, and so on. There's a whole list, and the list I have is extensive, and it's broken down by grains, fruits, vegetable stuff, of all of the things that you can eat that are super healthy for you that contain short chain fatty acids. And those short chain fatty acids, SCFAs, trigger your body to produce GLP1 hormone. Same thing the injection does. Now, I don't want some crazy pharmacist gunning for me because I'm making statements like this. I know what works for me and I know what I've researched. I'm going to add the butyrate. I ordered it online, so I got to wait for it to get here. But it works. It can actually work extremely well in tandem with the white kidney bean supplement. Now, when you're working with things that are high in fiber, you have to understand they might cause bloating or stomach upset or any number of things like that. But all of that can actually be controlled by portions and the timing of how you eat. When you eat and what you eat. The timing is very important. And since in the last 8 days, I have lost 5.5 pounds. And the one change that I've made is that I do the bulk of my food intake between noon and 4 every day. Between 6 and 7 a.m., I have my protein shake, which is 30 grams of protein, 0 sugar, and only two carbs. And then that holds me until noon. And then at noon, my husband and I started having our lupper, which is lunch and supper combined. And we have a super big meal at lunch. Now I can do that. A lot of people can make bigger lunches and whatnot. But I eat a big healthy lunch. And if I want to snack at about 3:30, I can grab a cookie or something. It actually doesn't matter because I have learned that my body's unique response to food is if I get that food in, get the bulk of my eating in from noon to 4 p.m., and then no food after that. And from 4 to 7, I drink my water, maybe 2 cans. I drink a lot of LaCroix, sparkling water, because the sparkling water, it gives you that feeling of having something naughty to drink, but it also is filling. And so from 6 to 7 a.m., protein shake. And if I get really sick, if I get those sick, nauseous hungries, I'll have 2 shakes because 1 shake is only like 160 calories. So 2 shakes are going to be around 340 or something, which is kind of what you should have for your breakfast, somewhere around 300 to 400 calories. So actually, if I don't feel full enough or I start getting that nauseous, sicky, hungry feeling, I can have a second shake between 6 and 7 a.m. But then noon to 4, I'm definitely going to do the bulk of my eating. An example is today. My lunch consisted of a giant salad, a nice big garden salad that was just a variety of lettuces and cabbages. I had no No fruit in it, no nuts in it, nothing like that, just the salad. And I poured some of the black beans over them. If you get low sodium canned beans, they have a little bit of a broth or juice to it. You can pour that over there. And I had that with 2 small chicken breasts. That was my meal. It was so filling. The fiber and the water and stuff. It was very filling, and I'm still satisfied now at 3:30. And I won't have to eat anything. I don't get hungry. I don't get sick. And then I'll drink water from 4 to 7. And I cut off water at 7 because if you drink too much water too close to bedtime, you end up having to get up and pee all the time. And that disrupts your sleep. And sleep is imperative for weight loss and for super aging, life and death. So don't disrupt it with having to get up and pee. Be sure that you're getting it done. So drink lots of water, black coffee. I drink a lot of black coffee and a lot of water. And I started doing this 8 days ago with this regimen of the time blocks for the food. And I'm eating a lot of food. I'm eating generous. I'm getting snacks in between that noon and 4. I can eat whatever I want. That doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and eat junk food or processed food. I'm eating very healthy, robust meals. But if I want an ice cream sandwich, if I want that oatmeal cookie, I'm not going to shy away from having it. Because, for one thing, the black beans have the GLP1 trigger. So they're going to trigger my body to produce more GLP1. So it's going to put that food through quicker. And it's a healthy, clean meal. But if I want that, if I want that junk food, if I want that naughty contraband, I can have it. Because that's all I'm going to have. And then I'm going to be giving my body from 4 to 9 or 10 o'clock to fully digest the meal that I ate. Because some people, you get really sick. When you're sick in the morning, when you feel really heavy like lead, you get nauseous and sick and headaches in the morning and you're dragging yourself. That could very well be that you're eating too late in the evening, too close to bedtime. And your body, when you're laying flat like that and it's digesting, the digestion moves super, super, super slow when you're sleeping. So it's not going through the system like it should. It's not getting through it. It's just sitting in there and stagnating and just blop, blop, blop along. And I find that when I wake up, I just feel fantastic. And again, I've lost 5.5 pounds from this little food timing experiment. Today's day 8. I am very, very excited that this is working. And part of super aging and weight loss, yeah, you got to get down to that healthy weight. But if you need to rush to get down to a reasonable weight, if you're morbidly obese and you need to lose 100 to 200 pounds extremely quick, do what you have to do under a doctor's care to get that weight down, even if it means the GLP1 injections. Get down to a weight where you can say, okay, now I'm out of the pre-diabetes range. The weight's off my knee. My knee isn't giving me trouble anymore. Now I can breathe a little easier and be more meaningful in my weight loss. And when you reach your ultimate weight loss goal, you have to be able to maintain. And that maintenance comes from discipline, life choices, and sheer willpower. The problem with fad diets is that they'll help you lose a lot of weight really fast, but then your body goes into survival mode because it doesn't understand what's happening. And the longer you have been at a certain weight range, the harder it is for your body to say, okay, I'm okay with this weight going away. And you'll plateau and your body will be weight loss resistant. So you really have to just punch it through those first few months. Punch it through. Just bust your ass and do it. Do whatever you have to and get as much weight off as you can. And then once you reach your first plateau, you're going to have to make adjustments and you're going to have to be patient. On my plateau, I was on a plateau like a month and I was a mess. I thought for sure that I was never going to see the light of day, and I did. But what I did was I tricked my body into thinking that something different was happening, because your body responds, your metabolism responds like a squirrel. If your metabolism is used to the same exact food in the same portions at the same time every friggin' day, it's going to level off at that weight that blood pressure, that heart rate, because it thinks this is okay. Okay, we can survive here. I'm good. I've been here for a long time. I know what to do. When you start to adjust and trick your body by changing the timing, changing the food, changing the portions, adding supplements, your body's like, whoa, what the F are you doing? And it will release excess fluid. The first 20, 25 pounds that you lose, and you lose it really quick, is just pure fluid. It's excess fluid retention. But to get down to the real body fat, that's where your body is going to fight you, especially if the body is so used to being at a certain weight. So you will run into plateaus. The body gets comfortable. The body doesn't like that you're doing this new thing, but it will react. And it might react by bumping you up a pound or two and then dropping 3 to 4. Everybody's body is different, and you have to figure all of this out on your own. The psychology of eating and weight loss is very powerful, and there are so many things that you can read and research about it. But look up short chain fatty acids and GLP1 hormone production. You will get a better understanding of what it is that these injections are intended for and what they do. They don't replace exercise or good dieting. You can't go out and eat Burger King and McDonald's every night and then take your GLP-1 shot and think that you've got a green light to do that. That will shoot up your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your sodium. You will kill yourself. And that GLP-1 is only going to do so much. It can't do everything. It needs you to step up to the plate. So think about what I've told you. Look it up. Black beans, short chain fatty acids. There's a whole list of foods, really good foods and stuff that you can eat. It goes through a whole list that have this already in it. And when you eat it, it triggers the body to create and produce GLP-1 hormone to break down that food quickly and efficiently before it has time to set in as fat and sugar. So yeah, that's where I'm at. 5.5 pounds down in 8 days, just by changing the one thing, which is not eating after 4 p.m. I've learned that my body needs that window of time to digest that meal fully so that I can sleep. And then I get up and I weigh myself every morning, and I'm very happy with my results. And I'm 5.5 pounds closer to my ultimate goal. But I still intend to do all of this with my ultimate goal. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to have cake or a cookie or something at the Easter gala that the family puts on every year. So we're going to be doing that on Easter. I'm not saying that I'm not going to go out to dinner with my wonderful husband and have steak and lobster or some silly thing like that. Those things will happen, and you adjust your diet accordingly. If I know I'm going to go out and have dinner with Douglas, I'm going to probably have a very light lunch of maybe celery and carrots. Something light, something to fill you up. Cucumbers are great. Fill me up and hold me out till supper. Take my white kidney bean supplement with me, and be smart about what you're eating. Just because you're going to a restaurant doesn't mean you have to eat garbage. There are healthy ways to choose better food. But don't be afraid of that candy bar or that cookie or that slab of cake. Just, budget it. Have a lighter lunch and have that cake before that 4 o'clock cutoff or whatever works for you. If you're going to do evening things like meals or celebrations, it's okay. One day of celebrating is not going to undo all of the hard work that you've done. Your scale the next morning might look a little bleak. It might be up 1 or 2 pounds, but it's most likely fluid. And it's not fat because the body does not gain fat overnight. It takes a lot of time to happen. So it would be temporary. And, don't deprive yourself of those luxuries. So look into the GLP-1 and what it is, how it works, not the drug, the actual hormone in your body, and all of the foods that you can take and eat and have little scoops of with your meals or eat by themselves that trigger GLP-1 hormone. Because that's exactly what those injections do. They're doing exactly what food does. So look into it. Maybe a scoop of black beans in your salad would be a healthy dose for the GLP-1, If you're going to have eggs and bacon and all that bullshit for breakfast, maybe have, like a scoop, an ice cream scoop of oatmeal, because that'll trigger the GLP1, kind of stuff like that. And try to do it the natural way. If you're not morbidly obese, if you're not pre-diabetic, if your bones aren't breaking, if your life is not in danger right now and a doctor needs to do whatever he can to save you, look at the food options. Better than a shot and a lot cheaper than a shot too. And until next time, do good and be good.